Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer your air elemental energy reading for the year of 2026. This is a general forecast, kind of giving you just a little touch to see what might be coming in, what kind of energies are coming up, or it could be some information to work with meditation on. How I like to do these readings is we look at, and this fluctuates from year to year by the way, but right now we're looking at the quarters individually, looking at a guide and a guardian. In this case we're using the Crystal Mandala Oracle, so you're getting a crystal you can work with for that first quarter, and then an ascended master or spirit guide that if you work with them, you can work with them as well. We look at each individual month in that quarter, and we look at a tarot to get us a baseline idea of what's going on. Then we look at an oracle card to give us kind of a general idea of what is going on either behind the scenes or in addition to that baseline. So if you are new here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and comment and let me know your thoughts, feelings, and impressions. Also, if you by some chance see something different, intuitively guided, a different response, feel free to drop that as well. I read intuitively, so it's always interesting to hear what other people have to say. With that, we'll get started with your first quarter of 2026. And you're starting off with the Angel Bath Coal, and the stone is aquamarine, and the card is titled Your Authentic Voice. Your authentic voice awakens truth, clarity, and courage within yourself and others. Your voice supports the opening of your soul's bath. I trust the truth expressed with love, bringing spiritual benefits to all beings. The authentic message from your soul, shared with generosity and grace, are recognized and received. Your soul's wisdom knows how to express what it needs to share effectively and for the highest good of all. You accept and express the uniqueness of your authentic voice and tune into what resonates deeply for you. You choose to live the truth of your soul. So this first quarter, air, is most definitely going to be a spiritual set of lessons and experiences. And when you have aquamarine, this is one of the higher frequency spiritual stones. It's up there with amethyst for quality as far as that goes. Not for price, that's a different story. But when you work with aquamarine, it has this beautiful energy of aligning a lot of your chakra energy. It works with the heart, but it also works with the third eye and the crown. So it's really a strong stone to awaken the spiritual side of your existence. So if you've never played with aquamarine, this first quarter, January, February, March, would probably be a good time to maybe experiment a little bit, see how it resonates for you. Your first month, which is January, your tarot is the Knight of Earth. So this is going to be your opposite energy, so this could be a little bit of a challenging month for you. Earth is opposite air. Loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind. Excuse me. Time to buckle down and get some things done. Honor your commitments and a guardian angel. There's a little bit of a challenge here because air, you're on this mission to grow, get better, and intellectually challenge yourself. But the Knight of Earth is saying, be ready for those type of things, but it's really not necessary. So this first part of the year is you're kind of walking into it with confidence, but you're not running headlong into the fray. You might even be connecting in with some guides or guardians, but it's definitely not going to be it's not going to be an aggressive month. It's definitely saying take your time, do some examining, see what needs to be worked on, adjusted, or dealt with before you make bigger plans going forward. So this is kind of a good way to start the year, really, because it's giving you some reflection time. And let's see what your oracle card is. If the deck would talk to me, that's always fun. But yeah, they're really wanting just to say that this is not a time for speed, and it's not a time for rapid movement in the first part of the year. Your oracle card is angelic frequency. Angels are here. You are safe, and potent connection. This could be awakening to your higher self if you've never worked with that energy. This could be where this is coming in. It could be where you meet your patron archangel or your patron angel. We all have a guardian angel and a recording angel, and there's a whole list of other ones. But this could be this January energy where you're taking things a little bit slower and a little more introspective, it could be because the angels are trying to reach out to you and make a connection, or you could be meeting a new angel altogether. There's a lot of them out there, and they love to interact with humanity. Some of them I've talked about on this channel. You can go check that out. There's actually a playlist for just angels. But it could be someone new, and there's a whole bunch of them out there. So see what happens in January when it comes to taking things a little bit slower, looking a little bit deeper, and connecting in with your angels. And remember, your first quarter is Aquamarine and the angel Bath Kol, so you're definitely tapping into this spiritual frequency. So starting it off with connecting with an angel is a good way to start the year and the quarter. In February, we have number 3, the Empress. This is divine feminine goddess energy. This is a very supporting energy and a very prosperous abundance, good luck. These are some of the key words that come along with this. And in your case, Air, the Empress is also showing how the gentle support is actually very powerful. Sometimes a supporting role is more important than the leader of the army or of the business, because they're the figurehead. But sometimes they don't know all the details going on behind the scenes, and Air, this is kind of where you shine, as you love some of the detail stuff. So you're in a really good spot right now to be the supportive role, which is not a negative, because in that role, your skills, your talents, and your gifts are actually expanding exponentially. So you're able to step into that role easily, and you're like, no, I got this. I don't need to have all the praise. I can do all the behind the scenes stuff. And really, they can't do it without me, so why do I have to worry about being the one getting all the accolades? As long as they recognize it, that's all I really need. And that's the energy that you're getting, Air, is I got this. I don't need to be out in the front. That's going to waste my time. I've got other things to do behind the scenes. So Air, in February, don't worry if you're not the one that's the center of attention. You're the center of efficiency. You're the center of all the operations. And that can apply to home or business. You don't need to be out in front, and you really don't want to. Kind of that whole spotlight thing's not your thing anyway, is what I'm hearing. But in this moment, you're the one who knows that you know what's going on, and you don't need to have that other stuff. Your your oracle card is the Venusian Galactic Council, star being guides answering the call, and your time to shine. So you're shining, but not in the way where you have to be the center of attention. You're shining because your gifts, your talents, and your skills are the ones being brought to the forefront. Star being guides and answering the call, that ties into your quarterly message of deepening your spirituality, connecting with higher and higher frequencies. So you really are activating from that level. And with this Venusian energy, I'm hearing this is working with your heart chakra. This is opening yourself up to greater and greater amounts and expressions of love. If you're in a relationship, this could be a very passionate month for you, even though, Valentine's Day is there, but you also have Candelamas going on then, so it's the rituals of the candles. You have a lot of powerful light energy coming in, and it's really wanting to emphasize this centering around your heart. So tap into your heart and work with that energy this month in February, because it's going to be where your gifts, talents, and skills reside, which is actually going to help you expand in a very beautiful way. So wrapping up this first quarter with March has the Sabbath of Ostara, spring equinox, if you will. We have the 5 of Swords. So this is the 5 of your energy. And what this is really bringing forward is that you've conquered a lot this first quarter. You might have conquered a lot in the last 5 years, is also what I'm hearing. But because of your conquering, you're not doing it in an arrogant way. You've conquered, but notice you're letting him live. You're not taking out the conflict. You're not wiping it away out of your life. It's saying, now you understand what I was doing. And this could tie into that Empress energy in February, where you're the center of operations, not the center of attention. If the ego gets a little too potent, that's where this energy is coming in, where you may have to knock that thing back a peg or two, because the ego likes to, I am so much better than other people. They have to have me here. That's not how this works. They're the figurehead. You're the supporting factor. You know all the operations, but they've got the charisma to sell it. And that's where you have that balance of power and energy. And that's where you don't want the ego getting too big, because that's going to really interfere with how you exist in your world with your skills and your talents. So you want to keep that balance. And again, you're not killing things, you're not wiping them out, you're putting them back in their place, because he's lost his horse. Therefore, he's not going anywhere fast. And that's what the important part is don't get in a rush. We're taking things at the right speed, but you're the one that kind of sets the speed in March or air. So something to be aware of. March could be a little bit of a kind of working with shadow energy, but also conquering a little bit more of the ego stuff too. This is apropos, oracle card is the karmic board clearing, energetic clearing, rewriting your story, and living your truth. So when you have these two cards coming up, and again, I read intuitively, so they may not be the exact definition in the other cards. You have the Five of Swords, Five of Air, saying, we are not doing this. We are going to put you back in your place. We're not playing this game anymore because you're clearing some karma. Through this first quarter, you're connecting, you're understanding your gifts, talents, and skills. You're actually embracing your role in your life. And that role may not be what everyone else thinks, and who cares? That's their problem, not yours. You're enjoying your life, and that's what's important here. And then we tap into this karmic board clearing. This is a time where you get to release the things that are not serving you. You get to release the past because you've done the inner work, you've done the spiritual connecting, and you're seeing things from a much broader perspective as you wrap up this first quarter air, and that's allowing you to really embrace the beauty and the expansiveness of who you are. And you don't have to have the ego involved. You don't have to be the one that leads the charge. You'd rather be the one that supports the team, because you know that role is a very underappreciated as a rule, but it's extremely necessary. And you're feeling that really strongly in this first quarter air, that, you know what, I don't need to be up front, but I can be the supporting role, and that's actually going to work out better in the long term, because you're not the one everyone's pointing at if something goes squirrely. So there's a lot of things there that are benefits to being in that supportive role. Your second quarter guide and guardian is the Archangel Metatron. You're going to have a spiritual first 6 months here, Air. That's all I have to say. Because Metatron is one of the angels of ascension and of growth and spirituality. It was the prophet Enoch who ascended into the heavens. So we're talking about a big growth. Aquamarine to start with, and then Metatron coming in the second quarter. You also have clear quartz, which is an enhancing stone. Whatever you use it with, it's going to enhance it. And your card's title is Power. You embrace the opportunity to explore a healthy relationship to personal power. This supports your spiritual journey to fulfill your destiny for the benefit of all beings. You choose to express your power in a way that is respectful, merciful, and kind towards yourself and all others. You utilize your growing power to awaken your boldness and confidence. You recognize the inevitability of your divine fulfillment. Second quarter. First quarter, connecting, really activating that spiritual side. Second quarter, we're going to definitely be moving into some higher and higher spiritual frequencies. This is not going to be the first quarter felt like it was much more passive. That is not going to be the case in this second quarter. There's going to be a lot more movement going on here. So let's see what the cards have to say. Sorry, shuffling around here. But it's interesting that you had the spiritual alignment going on here with Aquamarine into Quartz and Metatron, because you're definitely stepping some things up as you move forward here. So let's see what the cards have to say. In April, you have the Page of Pentacles, again, Earth energy, so this might be a little bit of a challenge for you. And with the Page of Pentacles, it's saying, don't play around with your prosperity, your abundance, or your home life. It's really saying, figure out what it is you're looking for. In the spiritual sense, this is that getting clear on what you're moving forward in. The first quarter, there's a little bit of ups and downs. There's a little bit of growth and a little bit of challenge, but in this second quarter, in this fourth month, in April, it's really wanting you to understand that there's other things at play. Because you notice the dragon's not paying attention to the fact there's a bat above him. He's really focused on just one thing, and that's great as long as you're clear on what you're after. The page is also, you could see it as an apprentice or as a student. So this is a month where you might be the student or you might be being the teacher. Either way, it's a learning experience, and it's an expansive one. And when we're looking at April with that focus, it's wanting you to understand that this is not a time where you get to, I'm just going to do whatever I want. You need to get clear on what it is you're after. The first quarter was really just showing what your skills and talents are, which is revealing you, not anyone else. It's revealing you. So in this second quarter, you're starting off, okay, now that you understand you, now that you have a better grip on what your gifts, skills, and talents are, what are you going to do with all this? And that's what they're wanting you to know is now it's time to put action to the thoughts that you were developing in the first quarter. And they're starting it off with a bang. Your message oracle card is the Palladian activation, coming together, harmony in the heavens, and resolution. This month is going to be a lot of questions, but by the end of it, you're going to have your answers, is what I'm hearing. This is not a time of, well, I'm going to have these long, drawn-out, philosophical, reasoning questions for months on end. No. You have April. So this is where you got to get clear and understand that there's someone else above. There's some other guiding energy. This could be your higher self. This could be a spirit guide. It could be God's source coming in. But then you also have the Palladian activation bringing in this upgrades, getting things ready to flow into harmony. There is an energy of a reset coming in. So it could just be a little bit of a shift in a position at work, a promotion, or a lateral movement type of a thing. There is recognition coming in here as well, but it's not until you get clear on what it is you're going to do with your skills and talents. It's not going to be bombastic. It's definitely going to be like a little boop over. So it's going to be a good month, but not exceptionally active in the fact of outside world. This is an inner world to project outwards. Your May energy is number 11, major arcana energy here coming in, and it is the strength card with Archangel Ariel. Great inner strength, releasing harsh judgments, forgiveness, and compassion. When we have strength, we have to understand this is overcoming obstacles. And just the first 4 months, you've overcome a lot. You've gotten more clear on what your message and what your journey in the soul's life is. Are you going to have all the answers? Probably not, and that's okay, because we're here to learn, we're here to grow, but we're also here to share. And when we're looking at Ariel, which is the feminine aspect of Uriel, we're looking at this energy of expanding. You have the inner strength. You've already been there. You've already done all of this stuff, Air. It's not like it's new to you. It's just now you're doing it at a different frequency because you have grown and changed. And we all go through life. We have to deal with all of our own lessons. I have mine. You have yours. And each time we overcome one, it elevates us to a different frequency. Now, are there some patterns that will repeat? Yes, because that's karma, where you may have to clear some things out from this lifetime or past lifetime, but it's this energy of you have to process things in a cycle. And the beauty of spirituality and working with God's source and the angels, and this is a little bit outside of the structure of mainstream religion, you only are put into situations that you actually have the skills and are ready to achieve. You're not forced into something that's going to destroy you. That's not how that works. That's when the ego gets involved, you have those problems. But God's source brings up the things. Your shadow awakens the stuff to process when you have the strength, skills, and talents to deal with it. Is it going to be easy? Never. Never of those things is it going to be easy. But you also have that pushback, which allows you to flex your spiritual muscles and allow you to grow. You can't grow from a soft position, and that's what they're saying is you're going to be able to get stronger because you already have the strength, but through this processing of dealing with things from the past, dealing with situations as they arise, you're able to elevate beyond that. And remember, in May, we have the energy of Beltane, the Sabbath of Beltane. There is a great deal of fertility coming in as well. So this is going to be allowing you to release some of your past judgments and actually put into practice what it is you developed and kind of got clear on in April. Again, you might get clear down the road again and fix it again. That's fine. But in April, you got clarity. In May, you're putting it into practice. And your oracle card is the I Am Presence. Light body activations, accessing the divine within. This is that connection into God's source. And when you're working with this inner strength, you're releasing the harsh judgments and criticisms, and you're seeing things with compassion. You can take whatever it is you developed and understood in April and create and manifest with it. I am an amazing supporting character. I am the person who has the organization skills. I am the one who's stepping forward to deal with this situation. And when you put it in the I am state, it's creation. It's all about expanding where you're at and calling upon the divine to bring it into reality. So May is definitely a fertile month in that respect. There's a little bit of a challenge, but I'm really wanting to pass on here. Air, this is a challenge you're going to love. You're not even going to realize that it's a challenge because you're enjoying it so much. I'm going to grab a quick drink. Okay, so your June energy, and wrapping up the first quarter or second quarter here, we have the Sabbath of Midsummer, which is June 21st, longest day of the year. And we have the Five of Pentacles. Again, a little bit of a challenge. The second quarter is not going to be an easy path for you, Air, unfortunately. And the Five of Pentacles, Five of Earth, is there is something going on here. The path ahead is unknown. You're the one leading. You're this dude right here, or dudette. You're the one leading the charge. You're the one leading people through safely the unknown. Remember, you still have this hanging out up here. You still have a higher energy, your higher self, God source, that is guiding you. But because you're on the ground and you have to move with the people you're with, you may not see the destination just yet. You have to follow that inner light, that inner guidance. And with the Five of Pentacles, there are some negative connotations with it. But what I'm hearing with this one is it's mainly the unknown. You don't know exactly what's going to happen in June. There's they keep going back to the term mystery. So if you liked the old mystery novels, this is where you get to play this out. And it's not negative. It's really saying don't push things. Don't try to rush. Don't second guess what your guides and guardians are showing you or what you're being logically led as the next step, because that's how the universe talks to you. And if you're not super intuitive, and that's fine if you're not, you're paying attention to those inner voices, those bursts of insight, is really going to be the way to move forward in a healthy way. So, but don't forget, you do have a lot of support in your team. Your higher self is huge in this. This deck is really wanting to be funny this morning. So, your Oracle card is the Crown Chakra Upgrade, Divine Connection, Holy Experiences, and Miraculous Energies. You don't get to know the everyday because you're connecting upwards. Your focus is actually growing higher. So this energy is where this comes in. This is a hawk, but this is a dove. You're still dealing with this higher frequency energy. And this, in June, I'm hearing that it might be a good idea to really work with your crown chakra, really feel like that 1,000-petaled lotus is starting to open up even more. Each spiritual lesson you learn opens a new petal in that lotus. So this could be a time of working in that aspect, and that's why the physical world feels like it's unknown. That could be the reason the physical world is like, I'm just taking the next step that's opened up in front of me. I really don't know where this is going to end up. And that's not always a bad thing. It's frustrating, don't get me wrong. But really, Air, in this wrapping up the second quarter, you don't have to know what's going to happen next. And I think that's where the guides are coming in, just to say, you don't have to worry about it as long as you're following and keeping true to your spiritual side. And that can be a religion, it can be a spiritual practice, whatever it is. As long as you're being true to that and you're connecting, you have the guidance you need, even if you can't see more than 2 steps ahead. And that's fine, because if you can see the 2 steps, you can take the next one, and the next one will open up. So trusting in your inner guidance and in your higher self guidance is kind of the lesson. It might be a struggle for you because Air likes to be more logical and practical, but that's not always the case, and that's not always easy to do in every situation in life. So let's look into our third quarter, which is going to be July, August, September. You have the angel Isda, and your stone for the third quarter is carnelian. Card is called Nourishment. Growth requires nourishment. As you grow, you gain well-being and strength, becoming a more radiant light on this planet, which is exactly what the first 2 quarters were about. For the spiritual benefit of all beings, you recognize that in giving to yourself, you are ultimately giving to others. You embrace your power of choice to nourish yourself with what truly feeds and empowers your mind, body, and soul. You express and explore your own ways to be healthy, and you trust in your ability to nurture yourself and others. Air, the second quarter, it's time to put everything that you've learned into practice. No more dilly-dallying, no more kicking dirt, no more inner work. This third quarter is where you get to express things outwardly. And when you have carnelian coming in, this is a little bit of a passion energy as well. So I'm feeling very strong that you're going to be very passionate about the things that come up in this third quarter, because you've done the inner work, you have connected in, you're starting to understand that divine guidance in a much more profound way. About dropped all my cards. And that's allowing you to now step into a much more active role. Don't get me wrong, the first 2 quarters, you're still doing the things, but the focus was more inward and building the connection in the first quarter and then starting to apply it outward. And in this third quarter, it's where you're basically alchemizing the two, as above, so below. Third quarter, here we go. Your July card is the 10 of Air, the end of a difficult situation, thankfully, embracing the challenge and expecting things to get better in the moment, recovering from an addiction. And that addiction could be from like an emotional state, it could be being a workaholic, but whatever it is, the 10 of Air is saying you have completed the air cycle, the swords cycle. You've went through all the challenges, you've had to deal with a lot of things, but it's time to celebrate your wins. And that's what July is going to be about. It's really celebrating the fact that you've got this far in life, not just this year. Air, you've overcome challenges. There's somebody in your life, and this doesn't apply to everybody, there's somebody in your life right now that said you'd never achieve anything good. You never would have, you're never going to get married, you're never going to get promoted. You think you're going to start your own business? Yeah, right. Whoever that person is going to be eating some crow. They'll never say it out loud, but they're going to be eating some crow in July, because you're going to realize there's going to be an awakening for some of you, not all of you, with this particular message. But you're going to realize that you've achieved things, and a lot of it was in spite of other people's machinations. Like they were actually trying to work against you, but you still overcame because you trusted intuition. You trusted your path. You trusted in your guides and guardians. And that's led you to this energy of success and achievement and overcoming. So July is definitely you getting to reap the rewards of the work that you've done. Big, small, doesn't matter. Embrace and show gratitude for the things that you've accomplished. And because you've completed something, you got to start something new, and that's where your Oracle card comes in. It's the Akashic Stargate, aligned with purpose, which is what you've been working on the first 6 months, and you're at a crossroads, but there's not a wrong path. These 2 cards are saying, well done, if I can get them lined up, well done, what's next? This is where you're headed. And with this as your Oracle card, it's really wanting to emphasize this. See what you have accomplished. Notice the alignment that you have gained, the heart-mind cohesion, the spirit-physical form connection. You've connected upwards into God's source in a way that you weren't sure if you were able to do before, but now you know it's possible. This month of July is a very strong month of realization for you, but also a celebratory month where you get to just embrace the joy of your existence and embrace how far you've come. Go out and go camping, go do the celebratory things, barbecuing and all that fun jazz in the summer, but remember how far you've come, where you started to where you are now. Allow the immensity of the miraculous that has occurred to really wash over you. Allow it to open your heart to joy and gratitude in this third quarter, especially in July, and feel the joy of that. You're not having to stress about stuff because you already know you can handle it. That's a given at this point. But now, consciously be aware of how far you've changed and how far you've come, because a lot of the times we're moving, we're doing. We're not thinking about that. When we take a few minutes out and we realize, where did I start this whole journey at? Was I 5? What's your first memory going back? And notice the differences and how things have changed and grows, the challenges, the ups, the downs, and then see where you're at today. The job, the spouse, the house, the car, whatever it is, and realize how much you've achieved, How many goals you've actually marked off that list that you have? And don't tell me you don't have it. All air elements have it. You've been marking off these lists, and you didn't even realize how far you've come. July is the time to realize it. So, moving into August, August has the celebration of Lufthansa. I think I have to look at that again. But we have the Tower, number 16. This is that creative destruction. It sounds like it's going to be a miserable month, but it's really not. It's the time of what you did in July, where you saw how much you've accomplished and how far you've come. You may have seen, oh, I'm dragging around some things I don't need. This is where you clean this up. The Tower is literally creative destruction. You're tearing something apart because it's just not working anymore. But as you're tearing it apart, you're finding bits and pieces. They're like, well, I still need this. This I can use, but I don't need that. Throw that away. And this is that energy of you're tearing something down because you need to rebuild it in a better form. You're tearing something down because you need to take out the rotting boards and replace them with steel beams or whatever it is. But you're in a very constructive, we'll call it that, energy in August. And I'm hearing that this is actually going to be something that you kind of been wanting to do. It's not like, oh, I'm scared to tear it apart. The energy I'm getting right now, Air, is heck yeah, we can tear this thing down. We can fix it. I know where I'm at. I know where I'm going. I have the talents. I have the ability to deal with this. And if I don't, I know who to hunt down to find the answer. You are actually excited to go through this growth period because when you realize how far you've come and you're more aligned with your true self, getting to rearrange and reorder is like a Christmas present in August. So it's not going to be a negative thing in August by any stretch. You have the Lemurian seed codes, embracing sensitivity, uniqueness, and living with grace. And when you have that tied to the Tower, your uniqueness is the fact that you're actually enjoying this Tower moment. It's not a struggle for you because you're like, heck yeah, I got to fix this. And it's not a bad thing. You're embracing the change. You're actually stepping up and saying, no, I want to do this. Why? Because if I clear it out now, I don't have to clear it out later. And I can actually show my coworkers, my kids, my employees, whatever it is, I can show them that it's possible to keep getting better. Even when things are looking really good, there's always something you can improve. And that's what's coming up here in August is you get to be the one that shows others how to do it. So you're kind of excited about this, Air. And I'm honestly, the energy I'm getting right now is almost giddy, like, woohoo, I can fix this. So enjoy how that turns out. And let me know in the comments too, please. In September, we have the Chariot, number 7, our major arcana. We have Archangel Metatron again. Wow, Metatron likes you this year. An important achievement, self-discipline, and willpower, public recognition. What you do in August is going to actually really get things moving in September is what I'm hearing. The Chariot is about fast motion. It's about fast growth. It's bringing the black and the white here, the duality of existence, into alignment, whether that is with a spouse, whether that's at work, whether it's whatever it is in your life. But you have learned to merge, and now things are working in much more harmony. As above, so below type stuff. As within, so without, all the union of opposites. And that's where things really kick off. You've done so much inner work. You've started applying it outside of your life. You're making these decisions. You're cleaning some stuff up. And in September, there is this burst of energy that's going to come in where whatever it is you've been trying to achieve in a long-term sense, you're going to see improvement pretty quickly is what I'm hearing in September. Again, these are general, so take what works. But September is going to be a lot of positive movement is all I can say there. They just keep repeating that. So let's see what your oracle card is. The Sirius, you have a lot of starseed energy going on here this year. Sirius star blessings, saying yes, proceed, be seen, pushing through. Air, just whatever you got going on, September is going to be your best month ever. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. And there's all this positivity, there's all this, everything's aligned for you, and now it's time to really launch yourself forward. You're wrapping up this third quarter. You've got Mabon coming in, the autumn equinox. You have the Chariot popping up here, speeding things along because you've alchemized and built unity between stuff. And then you have Sirius coming in saying, just say yes. Just do the things. If you've got a project you're working on, just do it. Everything is coming up roses in this third quarter for our air family. And I'm super excited. The energy that came in through that reading, it's electric. I almost feel like I have goosebumps. So air, have fun in that third quarter. It is definitely rewarding. It's definitely the blessings that you have received. So enjoy that. We have for your fourth quarter, wrapping up the year, which is October, November, December, Archangel Aniel, and the stone is pink calcite. Card is titled Acceptance. Acceptance is your pathway to transformation, even though you've already transformed everything in your life this year. Acceptance allows you to see with clarity and make choices that are wise, efficient, and effective at healing and helping others. You choose to grow through your experience, trusting in the blessings revealed according to the divine timing and higher wisdom. This is literally summarizing the entire year ahead that you had. As you acknowledge what is, you become capable of attracting inspired solutions that rapidly advance your spiritual empowerment. You now attain a higher understanding and access the practical wisdom within, finding the best way forward. This year has been a massive lessons learned year, but it's started off with starting to bring the intellectual and spiritual into the physical, applying it to real life in the third quarter, and now it's saying you have your wisdom, you have your knowledge. Go forward in grace, go forward in beauty, embracing the magic of life. So I'm curious to see what the fourth quarter comes up month by month, because the energy overall is exceptionally positive and it's exceptionally rewarding is what I keep hearing. So check in if you can find pink calcite, work with that. If not, you can also substitute to a certain extent rose quartz with that. They're saying pink calcite would be preferred, but depending on what you have available. But having that on your altar, having that on a necklace or a pendant, or wearing a ring like that, or you can just even have it on your nightstand next to your bed is a good way to do it too. It's just a way to connect in deeper with that type of energy from that stone. And your October energy, this is also the month of Samhain. The veil between worlds is very thin. We have the Six of Swords, the Six of Air. In some places they'll say this is running away from a problem, but that's not how I see it. I see it that you've overcome the problem, so you're going home. You don't need to be on the battlefield anymore. You've already done that. And you're going home because you have precious cargo. See the little guy up there? And this is what they're talking about with what you've achieved in these first three quarters. You don't have to stay and guard the battlefield. The battle's over. You've achieved what you've wanted to achieve. This is also an energy of completing a battle type of energy. The war's not over, but the battle is. So you got to go home and take a breather. And in October, it's about not everything has to be busy, busy, busy. Not everything has to be, I've got all these things to do, and lists and challenges and struggles and accomplishments and degrees and whatever else you're working on. Take the time, because you've already been there, you've already done a lot of that. Take the time for some recovery. And remember, the important things that you've been doing in life is to support your coworkers or your employees, to work with your spouse. But I'm feeling very strongly for those of you who have kids, this is the example you're setting. You're showing them that you don't always have to be moving and grooving. You don't have to be the workaholic. When you get things going in the right direction, it's all right to take a weekend. It's all right to schedule your vacation. That's what you're encouraging and showing by example other people. So it's really a powerful, powerful way of existing in this month of October. Seriously, you have a lot of stars coming in here. Your oracle card is the Arcturian Light Codes, Evolutionary Downloads, Reclaiming Your Power in the Future Thinking. These two together are really pointing out it's time to take a little bit of a break, or at least plan the break. You don't have to do it this second, but it's time to really reflect. Take care of yourself. Air, you're the only one that can. You've been doing all this work, inner and outer. You've gained skills, wisdom, and knowledge, and now it's time for you just to go to the pumpkin patch if you're somewhere that does those, or go to the haunted corn mazes. Those are always a blast. There are several in the part of Idaho that I live, and you can literally go starting in September, the last week of September. You can do a pumpkin patch or a maze every single weekend and not do the same one twice. Matter of fact, if you do it carefully, you can maybe get 2 or 3 and still not hit the same ones twice. So go explore at your community in October. Go have fun. Take an evening. Go do stuff with the kids. Go do stuff with your spouse. Plan date nights. Remember, you've done all the work, but it's not just for the work. You've done it because you want to have a comfortable life. And that's what they're wanting you to focus on. And remember, in October, November, which is the quiet month of the year, the Lord is in the underworld. The goddess, the lady, is in mourning. She's retreated to her place. The world is quiet normally. You've got Thanksgiving in the middle of this if you're in the States. It's just a time for reflection and recovery. You have the Queen of Earth, thoughtful, creative, warm, and sensible, ties into that energy of the goddess. Makes time for those around you, take a sensible approach, deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. This energy is tying into the February energy, where you're still supporting, but this time you're supporting in a stronger manner. You've done all the pre-work, you've gotten all the new skills, you've upgraded everything, you've leveled up in the game of life. And now you can do a lot more with even less. Why? Because you realize you don't need all those extra things. And the Queen of Earth is saying, embrace your core groups. Embrace your core talents. Again, we're dealing with Earth, so this is air's opposite, so it may not be the most comfortable thing to do, because you've grown beyond, and you took some chill time and you did some fun things in October, and I got work to do in November. You do and you don't. You do because there's always something to do. But it's not about pushing forward aggressively, because you've already done all that. You've done enough for this period of time, and now it's time to just maintain, look to the future, plan ahead. But it's not really an active, aggressive point of must move forward, must apply and build new things. No, that's not this time. November's not for that. It's just maintain, enjoy what you've achieved, and see what's ready to come next. Plan ahead, but November is not showing a lot of push energy here. So your oracle card is the Soul Star activation, fulfilling soul contracts, remembering who you are. Soul Star is between 6 to 12 inches. Some people say it's higher than that, above your crown. And it is in the shape of a Merkaba star. It's also associated with the angel Metatron. You got a lot of Metatron coming in. So when we look at these two together, it's really saying, remember the fact that you've already worked with all the base chakras, and now you're working outside of the body. You're getting into this higher frequency chakra. You've got some Horus energy, and you've in this energy of wisdom and knowledge and expanded awareness. You're not looking at stuff from the simple and the mundane anymore, or air, because you've moved beyond that. And because of that, you've activated the crown and you've opened it up even further. And now you're stepping into this higher frequency, and because you're willing to keep growing, you're willing to keep moving, and you're starting to understand the balance between work, home, spirit, everything's starting to align so that these higher frequency chakras are opening up for you. And I'm hearing this is going to be a fairly spontaneous thing. It's not going to be, I have to work at this. It's just kind of going to pop into your awareness. So be aware that November is definitely not going to be a fast, active, moving one, but there's still things going on behind the scenes. And in December, Earth is going to be your challenge this year. If you've got Earth air in your charts, or if you have an air, or if you as an air have an Earth partner, they're going to be either your best challenge or your best support or your most biggest challenge. But it's not in a negative way. That's the thing I want to emphasize here. It's like steel sharpening steel. Like they're pushing back on you and you're pushing back on them, so you both are moving in a positive way. It's just not going to be an easy trial through the tulips type thing. You have the Eight of Pentacles as your December card, And this energy is interesting because it's saying don't get so focused on one thing that you forget you have other stuff going on. You've already found your balance. You've gotten into a higher frequency and you've moved things into their next level of development. And with the Eight of Pentacles, it's saying don't get hyper focused on one. You've learned how to alchemize and juggle multiple things, which you're good at anyway, Air. But this is really wanting to emphasize this. In December, you may have this energy of hyperfixation, and I don't know why they're saying that, mainly because of this kind of not slow down, but rest period that's October, November. It might actually trigger a hyperfixation session for you, and that's fine to put a little bit more emphasis on one thing that you're wanting to develop into 2027, but don't forget you have other stuff going on. And this is that call to don't focus on your spirituality and neglect your home. Don't focus on work and neglect your spiritual life. There's this balance that you have earned in this point. And now when we're looking at the Eight of Pentacles, it's saying don't lose that because you've done a lot of work to achieve it. So, keep things going. And it's not going to be a hard thing to keep it going. The hard part is if it happens to get hyperfixated on one thing. So, your last oracle card is Shambhala Initiation, Retreating to Recharge, Trusting in the Process, and Dharma. You trust in the process so far this year, Air. You've grown, you've achieved, you've alchemized, you've brought things together, and you have overcome challenges in ways that other people didn't expect. And that is a saying, now it's time to step into your highest frequency for the year. This month, where you find this new balance and you make sure to hold on to that balance, is the other part of that. It's proving to yourself, to your higher self, to your shadow, to all aspects and all layers of who you are, that whatever comes to you, you can achieve, you can overcome. God's source is working with you to help you see what is next and how to use what's next. Sometimes you'll have that thing pop up and you're like, I don't know what to do with this, and the universe is like, I got you, fam. And that's where this energy is coming in, because you've achieved, because you've done. You've worked to bring things into alignment and organized them, Air, something you enjoy doing. That has actually revealed to you that nothing is going to be a challenge long term. You're going to have those things that help make you stronger, but there's not going to be this energy of walls, because you've been able to learn, yeah, there's a wall there. I can build a door, I can climb a ladder, or I can go around. You've seen that there's other ways to deal with it, and that's allowed your creativity to really become expressive and expansive. 2026, Air, is going to be one heck of a fun year. A lot of growth, a lot of spirituality, and like I said, the third quarter, that July, August, September, there's going to be some very strong, entertaining energy. And I say entertaining as in uplifting, positive, and just kind of like electric changes that are occurring there. So be aware of that July, August, September, and see how that plays out for you. With that, I will let you guys and gals go. Have a great year of 2026, and I'll see you in the next video.